So, edition 165 of the Zone, we've got another video analysis for you coming up. This edition we're going to be dissecting a simming. The simming in question is Duffield United against Bondi Icebergs, where Duffield managed to come away with the 3 points, as you can see, winning 3-1. Just a couple of facts about this game. Firstly, Duffield managed to win with just 38% possession compared to the Icebergs, obviously 62%. I hope you guys can add up to 100. You can look at my notes there on the game, actually. I'm not quite sure where the best place to place it is. Just in case it doesn't come up, you can see the Icebergs have the 5th best top 11 in all of Australia, the 4th best in the A-League. They're also the 5th oldest average age team, 3rd in the A-League, and before the season they were predicted for 3rd place, while on the other hand we have Duffield United, who are the 17th best overall top 11 value and 10th in the A-League, 43rd oldest average age, 10th in the A-League again, and were predicted for last place. So as you can tell, this was pretty major upset. I'll just highlight a few things. You've got the free kick count 11-7 to the Icebergs. Duffield conceded 5 yellows. Some of those got 5 yellow cards. Rudy Lang sent off for 2 yellows after 51 minutes. Connor Limmer sent off straight red after 68, trying to get into another club as quickly as possible. And you also, the 2 Duffield goals in relation to those sendings off. The first one, Ike Stageman after 41 still had 11 men, but then we have Aidan Weller at 59 minutes when they only had 10. And finally Alexander Miller completing the simming on the 89th minute when Duffield only had 9 men on the field. Bondi Icebergs' only goal came from a penalty. Now I've got up the full match statistics, and as you can see them up if you want. The key things to note here is probably Lascelles from the Icebergs, the attacking midfielder, had 7 shots, only 2 on target. I'm pretty sure he'll be the free kick taker, which you'll see in a minute will have quite an effect on the game. Fletcher Stockwin was another poor striker for the Icebergs. He had 6 shots but only 3 on target, and I think one of those might be the penalty as well. Everything else you can see, the passes, as you would expect for Duffield, they didn't have a lot and they weren't very accurate with 46% success. The tackle rate was also quite low for Duffield at 38%. The Icebergs on the other hand had many more passes, 87 passes at 68% accuracy. I can't do that kind of maths off the top of my head. You'll notice, I mentioned earlier, the amount of shots that certain Iceberg players missed. They had 16 shots to 6 overall, but 16 shots and just 6 on target, 38% possession. So that seems to be the main difference between the teams, and you'll see later on that's basically where the majority of the analysis will be. So we will take a look at the formations now. Here's the Icebergs. They had a pretty standard formation. You've got the 3 at the back there. 2 defensive midfielders. I'll just highlight them eventually. Rather slow. Oh no, I'm talking about the attack first. Okay. 2 central midfielders there. They're both in a position to get interceptions of goal kicks because they tend to be down the middle. You've got the attacking midfielder Lascelles, who's more likely to get interceptions of Duffield goal kicks, and your your central midfielder Danny Powie would be getting balls off your own goal kicks. The 2 defensive midfielders I just highlighted are very well positioned to counter Duffield's attacking. He's got some wide attacking midfielders, and those 2 defensive midfielders he had placed will counter that pretty well. The other thing to note is the striker setup, so I've just circled number 6, who was Fletcher Stockwin, and the other man who missed a lot was Randall Lascelles. So there's the position of the two players who missed an awful lot of shots. The other two I've just circled there, Lucio Guillermo and Jeremy Richton, only had one shot apiece. So very poor output from them. So we'll switch it over now to Duffield, and you can see their formation. Very much conservative 3-2-1 defense. And we'll just look at the attack first, I think. So two strikers, pretty standard attack, very much focused on the middle. Here we go with the defense actually. So yeah, we've got that triangle defense I spoke about, I think in the last video, that the Gunners were employing. Is probably the most common defensive structure in the game right now. You have your two attacking midfielders, but of course they will be countered by the defensive midfielders from the Icebergs very well. They didn't really have much of an impact on the game. And then finally, well, the entire Duffield attack, I mean, you've got 4 players in attacking positions, and you're a very poor team. You're going to struggle. I just circled there Connor Limmer, so I'll give a shout out to for the old man Grinner there. Connor Limmer will be on sale, if not right now, very shortly. He's really adamant about that. You'll notice there's quite a high defensive line for Duffield, although when you take into consideration where the Bondi strikers are, I'll do that analysis at the end. You'll probably find that quite interesting. And the attacking midfielder, a similar situation actually. We have 2 defensive midfielders, and they're both going to be making it very difficult for the attacking midfielder for Bondi. So Randall Lascelles is going to have a hard time against Rudy Lang and Rungo Clinton, the 2 defensive midfielders, because he's going to be quite crowded for space. Obviously we also have the central midfielder, the Chinese guy for Duffield. It's only notable, it's probably the position where you'll get the most interceptions of goal kicks, but I'll just show you approximately where the 2 Bondi central midfield players will be, and they're quite likely to cut off, because obviously one will cover a lot of goals going one way and the other will cover a lot of goal kicks going the other way. Anyway, here is a shot analysis now. So if you want, as a guide, basically, green circles, there's no defenders close by and it's a pretty easy take. Yellow or orange, there's one defender close by or it's a hard take. So take refers to, say, a striker receiving a pass. If it's a high pass, it's obviously quite difficult to take. Red is either 2 defenders close by or 1 defender and a hard take. Blue are free kicks, so I just circled a cluster of free kicks there. In the bottom right there we've got a fair few hard shots that'll be taken from what's his name, Stockland. Yeah, so I've just got my notes up there actually, you can just read them hopefully. I don't know if it'll come off. I should mention lighter colours refer to shots that are on target, so light green, yellow, pink, blue, light blue I should say, are all on target. Dark colours are shots that are off target. So you could probably have picked up by now that on the right hand side we've got Bondi Icebergs shots, and on the left we've got Duffield's. Black circle is where the goals are scored. So we have quite a few hard shots from outside the box. If you actually look overall, there's a lot of off target shots for the Icebergs from outside the box. You also have, so obviously I'm pretty sure the free kick taker is Lascelles. He's got that 1, 2, so those are the 2 on target shots from outside the box for the Icebergs. Got another on target shot. That one probably should have been a goal, the one I just circled, because it's green and it was on target, but it was well saved. And all those circles will show you where all the on target shots were from. You'll notice there's always, apart from that one green one which is very close to the 6-yard box, where under every other scenario it's a pressure situation or it's a free kick. free kicks are hardly ever result in direct goals. So you can pretty much discount that. You can discount the long distance red one, the two, then you've just got 3 yellows, which are maybe they'll go in, maybe they won't. But if you look at Duffield, on the other hand, we have, this was the most open goal all game actually. He's on a very tight angle, but there's no defender. I'll try and give you an idea where the closest defender was. I think I draw another circle here, just to give you, yeah, there's no one in the circle at all. No one remotely close to him. I've forgotten how he got so free. I think it was off a ball played to the corner and he got an interception. So I was a defender there, and the next closest defender is just circled that. And I do believe that was a contributing factor to the goal. We've also got another green shot, easy shot from outside the box. You'll notice that Duffield had 3 easy type shots, whereas the Icebergs have only got 2. Although the Icebergs 2 are obviously from much closer range, and we've got, you know, 2 red shots from really the middle of nowhere for Duffield. One was off target, but one got really lucky in the 89th minute. I think it was Alexander Miller who scored it. Yes, it was Alexander Miller scoring from basically midfield. He is a striker, but it's a long way out to score when you've got 2 guys on you. So, yes, so here's the 3 greens. So obviously on face value it's quite a simming, but when you look at what actually happened in the game, we've only got 3 green good shots really up against 2. Admittedly, the 2 are in quite close to the box. You will notice, well, you probably noticed from watching the games, if you do watch the games, I know a lot of people don't, is that the 2 greens are in sort of keeper charge territory. Keeper will come out to those, whereas the greens for Duffield, the keeper is going to stay on his goal line, which also could have an effect, although my strikers personally tend to have a very high strike rate from closer when the goalkeepers come out. So we've got a few silly shots. Here's all the red shots really. There's basically 2 on target, 2 off target for the game. The orange shots are probably more interesting. There's 3 from distance for Bondi. Oh, 4, sorry. So those ones were all way off target. Okay, so I've switched it over now. This is the formation analysis to try and make sense of it all in about 2 minutes. Anyway, here's the Icebergs formation, and you'll see that the central forward is not positioned as deep as possible, and I personally think this is a reason why they got such bad shots. Obviously it's all opinion. On the right hand side we had Fletcher Stockwin, and he got an awful lot. He had an awful lot. Oh, okay, I'm talking about the defense, aren't I? I love it when I don't record it live. Okay, so we've got the Icebergs playing a very high defensive line. I don't know why. There's no point to it. You give away, you become susceptible to balls being played in behind the defense, as pretty much what happened. How they conceded 2 of the 3 goals were just balls get in behind the defense and easy shots on target, goal. So yeah, here's Duffield. Here's the Icebergs. So we'll have basically what you can probably understand is that with 3 at the back against 3 forwards normally won't work. But what happened a lot in the game was we had the right striker, Fletcher Stockwin, was often found on the wing. As you probably noticed, there were a lot of shots down from the wing. The problem with this is that it's very easy for the left back for Duffield, Brockman Carberry, to just cut that off. I'm pretty sure I draw it at some point actually. It's quite difficult to draw things though because I might screw up the formation comparison, but that's a key point to this game. The other key point is Randall Lascelles took 7 shots and only had 2 on target. I think 3 of those off target shots were free kicks, but you can really see the value of training set plays. Most people just write off set plays straight away and, well, do so at your own peril basically. It's just, I wouldn't advise it. I score goals, maybe won a game from set plays. Anyway, okay, so here I'll just draw it. So let's say Stockwin, that's where the red circle is. Let's say your left back will be there, he's covering across, he's just going to cut on, and he's so deep. This doesn't really work for the Icebergs because their defenders are too far up the pitch. I suppose Duffield also played quite a high line as well, but not quite as high as the Icebergs. Anyway, that's it from me, so I hope you enjoyed my dissection of the simming, and yeah, see you next edition.